Yo, I am in awe right now. Crawford just destroyed Spence. He just dismantled him and picked him apart. In my prediction video, I was saying that Spence would outwork Bud. I thought he would win the battle of the jabs. I thought he would work the body early. I thought he'd be too big for Crawford. I thought he could take Crawford's hits. I thought his defense would be better. I thought he'd be way too disciplined and fundamentally sound to be lunging in like he usually does, but, I was wrong. I also thought Bud would get caught, and when he does, he'd lose his cool and, start fighting off his ego and anger, and that'll get him hurt bad, but I was wrong. I also thought Bud would want to box like he did against Postol and be mobile, but I was wrong. If you guys watch my prediction video, leading into this fight, y'all would know that I picked Spence to win on July 29th, but clearly I was wrong. But if you stayed till the end of that video, y'all would hear me say that I actually thought that Crawford had the edge in the fight. Just depends on how he fights, and he could actually make it look easy if he just, fought his fight and stayed disciplined. And that's exactly what he did. He made it look easy as he fought his fight. Crazy performance by Bud. Before I dive into the fight itself, I just want to talk about the walkout first because they were incredible, man. So Spence walked out first. He walked out with Big X the Plug. That's the artist to his theme music for this fight, Texas. That shit was so hard. It was dope. But Crawford stole the fucking show, man. He walked out to Lose Yourself with Eminem on some legendary shit. That was amazing. He had on a fishing net with him too, man. That shit was so tough. I'm not gonna lie, that was so tough. The whole outfit was dope. I watched it in a bar with my girl, and the bar went nuts when we realized it was Eminem that he was walking out with. Me personally, I had goosebumps. It was so good. Legendary walkout for sure. And in fact, during the whole intro, I had chills. I couldn't believe this fight was finally happening. I've been looking forward to this fight for years. This was like Christmas to me. This was like Game 7 NBA Finals to me. This was the Super Bowl to me, you know what I mean? This was the World Cup to me. I've been looking forward to this fight for so long, and it was finally here. And the feeling that I got from this fight is probably something that will not be replicated in a long time when it comes to sports, until Celtics win Banner 18, but I digress. In terms of the fight itself, all I could really say was wow. I was blown away by what I saw. First off, I thought it was a great fight. Some people might not think that way because it was a one-sided beatdown, but I don't think it can get much better than this when it comes to a one-sided beatdown. It was a good fight. Nobody quit. Everyone still went for the win. But man, Crawford just dissected Spence, man. Picked him apart, man. I gave Spence the first round for his activity, but other than that, you had to be looking to give Spence a round to give him any other round. Bud dominated from round 2 on. I would admit going into this fight, I was backing Spence. I've been a big Spence fan since like 2014. That's when I started boxing. And back then, I was just a casual fan, a bigger casual than I am now. I remember searching up who the best boxers are and who the best prospects are, and Spence came up. It was him, Loma, and Chocolatito. Those were the 3 names that I vividly remember seeing in those lists that day. Ever since then, I've been following and backing Spence and Loma, so I had to rock with him this fight. But I say that to say that even though Spence got knocked down in the second round, I was relieved because it looked like it was just a flash knockdown. He was just off balance. He wasn't hurt or anything like that. He didn't get discouraged. He went right back at Crawford. But, that just wasn't enough, man. He just couldn't match Crawford tonight. Having said all that, I am a Spence fan, so this was hard for me to watch. He got beat bad. But it was a beautiful performance from Bud. Even though my guy lost, I was happy to see this fight because I know this was a historical fight. This was major. Like I said, this is like my Super Bowl. It was an elite performance by a special all-time great fighter in Crawford, man. His footwork, his foot placement, his balance was perfect. His accuracy and timing was sublime. He was so sharp in this fight, and he controlled the whole fight. Man, Derek James was talking about the pace and consistency and how Spence was going to dictate that in this fight, but Bud did exactly that. You just felt that it was up to Crawford how this fight was gonna go. Crawford's IQ was on another level. He had answers for literally everything. He made so many adjustments. He fought on the back foot and front foot. He bullied Spence. He out-muscled him, even though Spence is the bigger guy. He had Errol moving back. And when I saw Errol go for a clinch, I mean, I knew it was just a matter of time. I knew he had Errol hurt. I knew Errol was like panicking because he's never been in this position before. I mean, when was the last time we saw Errol go for a clinch? Come on. Now, many people, including myself, thought that Spence's jab was going to be an issue for Crawford, but it was actually Crawford's jab that was an issue for Spence. He had no answer for it. It was a power jab. It was a shotgun jab. So quick, so accurate, so heavy. He peppered Spence with it all night with the jab and the two. He hit that the whole night. Fantastic jab by Crawford. Now, another reason I thought Spence could pull it off was because of his defense. I thought he would have way better defense than he did against Crawford, but his defense was terrible. It was awful. He got hit with the same shot over and over again. He had no answers for the jab. Nothing. He kept on biting for the feints, and he kept on wanting to parry with his backhand. And Crawford can see that. This guy is smart. It was just bad all around. The defense was terrible. He kept on getting hit with the same punch over and over again. It was bad. Another thing I spoke on in my prediction video was Spence's discipline. How he would bite down on his gum shield, listen to Derrick James, and execute the game plan no matter what was happening. And I think he did exactly that. Even though he was getting beat, he kept on trying, man. He kept on trying to get inside, and he kept going for the body. And honestly, during the fight, even though he was clearly going to lose, the fan in me, man, it still gave him a chance of winning, because I thought that all the body shots and all that would eventually pay off, and maybe Crawford would get tired. Maybe he'll land a crazy body shot that would drop Crawford, but that didn't happen. Bud's defense was impenetrable, man. He had a very watchful eye. His defense was great. He saw everything and reacted perfectly to them. And following up to the watchful eye and reaction time, man, Crawford's counter punching was amazing. It was so good. He was so sharp, so fast, so accurate. He did not miss a beat with his performance tonight, man. I touched up on Crawford's ability to punch in between punches in my prediction video, and he did a phenomenal job at that. I can recall a few moments where they went jab for jab, but he caught Spence's jabs and he landed his flush. I also remember that in some exchanges, he just landed his short punches when Errol was throwing longer punches. I mean, this guy cracked Errol's code, man. His timing was perfect in this fight. Crawford's combination punching was also beautiful. It looks like he's just flowing, everything just made sense. Nothing looked forced. And I was completely wrong about his ego getting the best of him in this fight. He kept that ego in check this whole fight. He knocked Spence down 3 times, and not once did he lose his cool and try to force a stoppage. He let everything come naturally until Harvey Dock ended the fight. And, speaking of Harvey Dock, man, I love this ref. He's a great ref. He's never been one to be in the limelight, and he lets the fighters do their thing. He lets them fight. He warned Spence a couple times for low blows, and he ended the fight at a great time. And like I said, that was a tough watch for me as a Spence fan. He got beat all the way up. But the thing is, he fought with so much heart and so much determination. And each time he got knocked down, he kept coming forward. There was literally just no quit in this dude. And I don't know how to feel about the fact that he kept on getting up and kept on getting beat up, because I feel like he might have gotten a career-ending beatdown. It was really bad in my opinion. His feet wasn't beneath him for a lot of those moments. In my opinion, I could see that he wasn't fully there in a lot of those moments. And then you remember that this guy has been in a car accident and a potential career-ending eye injury. And this dude's eye was swollen from round 4, and he kept on fighting until it stopped, which was round 9. So it's 5 extra rounds of beatdown. And I'm in no position to talk, but I just don't know how to feel about Derrick James not throwing in the towel. I mean, there just comes to a point where there's no chance in winning. And I think they crossed that point, and he still didn't throw it in. So I'm glad Harvey Dock stopped that fight. And the thing is, man, Spence still wants that rematch. And, I don't think it's for show. I think he actually wants it. This guy's a real warrior through and through. But I think he needs to give it a break. Like, he needs to rest for at least half a year before he entertains any fight. Not even Crawford, just any fight in general, because that was a bad beatdown he just got. But I digress, yo. Bud is a mean motherfucker, yo. He took Errol's belt, and he became the first ever undisputed welterweight champion in the 4-belt era, and is now the first male to ever be undisputed in 2 different weight classes. I mean, this guy just made history. He is a living legend. He is an all-time great, and it's definitely his era. Now, I know after the Inoue fight, I said that Spence or Crawford had to do something drastic to take that #1 spot from him. And that's exactly what Crawford did. He put on an incredible performance, and he took that #1 spot from Inoue. This guy is so mean. And, like, every time he had Spence hurt or after he knocked him down, he kept on talking shit to Charlo in the side, yo. This guy is crazy. I love it. He's so mean. But yes, this was an incredible fight, an incredible event by 2 incredible fighters, man. This is what happens when you fight the best. Sometimes you fall short, but you have a chance to create greatness, and that's exactly what Crawford did. And this is what everyone needs to be doing, man. This is what keeps boxing alive. 2023 has been amazing so far, and it just keeps on giving. And like I said, this was like Christmas to me, so now that it passed, I literally have nothing to look forward to. And, like, I'm hoping that the Charlo versus Canelo fight would amp me up later on as we get closer, but for now, nothing's gonna do it for me. But anyways, what did you guys think of the fight, yo? And I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment or nothing like that, and I mean no disrespect, but I got a question. Crawford versus Mayweather, prime for prime in welterweight. Who you guys got? Leave it in the comment section below, yo. And thank you for watching.